Yo, what up, what up, what up? Alright, so we're live. Hold on, let me, hold on. What up, what up, what up? No, thank you. Alright. Y'all should hear me a little bit okay. I'll turn the music down in a second. Also, let me switch this music. Somehow I started with some like cool hip hop thing, and now I'm on like some carnival weird stuff. I gotta get this playlist straightened out. Alright, so this is supposed to be non-copyright hip hop. If you recognize somebody, let me know.
American. First team, bitch. Yeah. I got a fake ID and a checklist. It goes never meet a girl on Craigslist. And never spend your money on a necklace. 3 square meals, homie, gotta have breakfast. Real shit, she be paying for the date. I be on my Will Smith, enemy state.
Can't guarantee the language.
They on repelling, they so jealous. I'ma do shit to just piss them off. Say you never heard me, it's yo lost. They playing on my freestyles. They tell me make my money frontin' on that weed style. I tell them I be too old for it. And I gave my brother my ID.
He trying to sound like. He's trying to sound like a mix between Andre 3000 and Childish Gambino. I can't do it. I need beats. Shut it up, I'll give it to you, no interruption. And you're home, on the phone. I guess lo-fi is the easiest yeah, no more of that. Yeah, that was insane. Do we categorize every white male rapper trying to be Eminem, or do we separate that, or do they have to earn that? Do they have to earn their own name, or else they're just the Eminem wannabe? Okay, hold on. So I did like some cool stuff, behind the scenes stuff. Y'all don't understand. Like, let me let y'all vibe out for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. What up? What up? What up? What up? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope everyone had a good weekend, bro. I don't even know what happened this weekend. I feel like it was all a blur. Feel like I've been setting this up all weekend, so I don't even know what happened this weekend. Uh, back to what Raj said. Yeah, shout out to Jack Harlow. All of the white rappers that don't sound like Eminem. We appreciate y'all. Um, shout out to last weekend was um All Star Weekend, right? So shout out to All Star Weekend. It was in the Bay. Curry got the MVP for the All Star game. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it is what it is. Um, your boy won the dunk contest 3 years in a row. McClung, who unfortunately may never get a real NBA contract, which is unfortunate. Um, but hey, I mean, people know his name, and that's the argument. Would you rather win a chip, or would you rather people know your name? And he will be talked about for good or bad. He will be talked about going forward. Shout out to John Morant, Giannis. Who else said they would join in? Uh, I wanted to say Blake, but Aaron Gordon. Shout out to any of the other full time, part time NBA players who said that they want to join the dunk contest. And hopefully it'll be good next year. Now, what I think they definitely need to do, I don't know who's slated to get it next year, but they really need to bring it back into the Garden, bro. Like, bring it back to Madison Square Garden, New York. Get that vibe going. That would be good for the culture. Um, and that would be crazy if they did like a street ball, something going on, Rucker Park tribute, all of that stuff. That would be awesome. That's what I think. And Stephen A. will lose his mind. So, um, yeah, that's my thing for the NBA All Star Weekend. As far as the game is concerned, more basketball, less commercials. That's it. Hopefully, it'll be better next year. Um, Shout out to Andre Iguodala for the Warriors fans who got all the chips with Curry and Draymond and Clay, who got his jersey retired today. So we appreciate his services, and it's crazy because it's gonna make Curry and Draymond and Clay getting their jerseys retired all that much special. Um, when they do it, since his is already up there. I think that was pretty cool. So shout out to Andre, man. Let me put my Kang gear on. Or do y'all want to call this the Doom cape? I don't know. It was Kang before it was Doom, if you ask me. Um, so crazy enough, I did put up I don't even know if I could get to my TikTok, but I put up my little promo video that you guys see on my YouTube. On YouTube, I got like 54 views on it. I put it up on TikTok. I got like almost like 3,000 views in like a couple days. I think I put it out Friday, if not yesterday, which is crazy. But in this whole journey, I'm realizing that views are just they're just views. Like I mean, again, I've never gone viral, so I don't know what that's like. Um, but views are just like they're just like in the background. Like unless like Unless I guess maybe if you go viral and people are talking about, maybe it'll feel different. But just having views, it's just like, okay, this many people saw my stuff. Hey Ty, love you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Appreciate you joining us. Um, so yeah, I mean, this whole journey is interesting. I mean, and the crazy thing is like, regardless of how many followers y'all have or somebody has, you know, it doesn't necessarily equate to um, how many comments they have, how many likes they have, how many shares they have. So really, to be, I guess, quote unquote, viral is harder to obtain than just getting views. But obviously, you need the views to start out. Raj said last trophy he will be holding for the rest of his career. I mean, maybe, but I'm the crazy thing about Andre, and I've noticed this especially the last time that he came back. He was on this whole like kind of like mindset, trying to do tech stuff, trying to do financial literacy and all of this stuff. So I never heard him really talking about like being on a coaching staff or anything like that. But I mean, you ask him, he says he's not done, he's not retired. So I mean, who knows? He may not. He may be, part of some franchise somewhere getting busy. I don't know, but I mean, hell, like just because you won a trophy doesn't mean you get your jersey retired. And I think that's like I mean that's the goal maybe for some. I mean, having your jersey retired, your name in the rafters, you know what I mean, your name in the scoreboard, stuff like that. Like I know there's people that from my high school that still got their names on scoring titles and stuff. So, I guess each his own, but can't take nothing away from his career. And whether you agree with it or not, he got an MVP, so I don't think he cares. Um, and Ty, yeah, I agree. I'm not worried about the views. I just think that is interesting because, like, like I don't know what viral is. I don't know how many views viral is, but I think like having a lot of views, again, like they could just be click on, click off, you know, depending upon like, do they stay and watch your content? Do they engage with your content? Do they share with the content? Do they share the content and talk to other people about it? But that's the goal eventually. But I don't know if like in the lane that I'm in, I mean, it's got to be. I mean, I share stuff all the time, so I'm sure other people in this lane are viral too. But I don't know. I don't know. I thought like having like 100 people view me was like a big deal, but like it just doesn't seem like real. Almost like it just seems like, oh, okay, like you know, like whatever. I don't know. Yeah, just because they watch one doesn't mean they'll be back, and that's true. Like I've seen like people like when I check the analytics and stuff, and I see like what they view. Do they stay the whole time? Do they jump in later? Do they skip ahead and stuff like that? But I don't know. It's just an interesting journey. You know, I mean, yeah, I'm happy. I am happy. Like I'm not gonna like again like I don't know what that life changing moment is for people that make content, but I'm just enjoying the process. Whether that change happens outside of this, I think my life has changed already doing this stuff. So I'm happy. I really am. And shout out to my family. Uh, thank y'all. I mean, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. It was good seeing everybody that I got to see. Um, and thank you to the extended family and everybody that's supporting me. And I think that's the ultimate goal is building a community, and I guess that's all I really care about. And I've been doing this for a little while, and I appreciate y'all still trying to listen to me. Um, oh, he's talking about stuff. No, because Jimmy Butler's on the team, and we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to even indulge in this hate. Whatever. Let's talk about Captain America. Um, and then I also touch on the whole Spider-Man new TV show just finished, and whatever else y'all want to talk about. I've been watching Paradise, which is getting really good. Been watching season 2 of Severance, which is getting really, really good. Um, and there's a lot of stuff coming out for March, so we'll talk about it. Like, share, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Do all of that. And let's get into this. So, recently it's been reported that Captain America 4 is a major box office success. I haven't heard the breakdown. I don't know if people are going to see Red Hulk. I don't know if they're going to see Anthony Mackie. I know that everybody that I watch that does a review, everyone's kind of in the middle about the movie overall. I actually watched this movie over again before preparing for this review. So, I've at least watched it twice. Not so called in a supporting manner, but to talk about it. So, I guess maybe that means it's worth talking about regardless. Now, I mean, it came out during Black History Month, even though not even half of Black History Month, because it came out around Valentine's Day, and we know February is the shortest month of the year. Um, and just as a side note, there's no necessarily like Black pride in this. Like I think I am gonna take some time to go back and see what people said about Black Panther. Because I don't know. Again, I don't think people care that Sam is black. I don't think that's the issue. I think the major issue is that like they're not doing like a good job making people like his character as Captain America. I think that if he was just Falcon and had his own movie, if it was Falcon versus Red Hulk, and maybe people would feel differently. But I think about him being the mantle of Captain America. I think that's people what majority of the people have a problem with. Aside from that, people aren't happy about the movie in general. Some people say it's boring. Some people are like, "Yo, it's unrealistic," which is crazy to say in a comic book movie. But when you got a like a 4'11" girl, 100 pounds soaking wet, flipping dudes that are like 6'4" without any explanation, it's kind of um, it kind of takes you out a little bit, and that's most of the controversy that I've been hearing about. Plus, you can tell like where the reshoots happen with Carlo um, Esposito coming in, being Sidewinder, um, and you don't really feel like, and this is just my opinion now, you don't really feel like Sam is facing one straight up villain. He's just kind of wrapped up in everybody else's story. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go ahead and kind of explain um, um, what I felt would have made this a better Sam Wilson story, regardless of anybody else. And if you go to my TikTok, midwatch, um, I give 3 reasons. But right now we're going to talk about one major reason, Kang. And what do you mean about Invincible? Are you saying, oh, I'm watching Invincible? Because if you're saying that, yes. And that's another thing we can talk about after all of this. And again, that side note, Invincible just shows that you can have um, you can develop a character that no one really knows and make them like lovable and enjoyable to watch. And that's another reason why I think it's hard to kind of, appreciate Sam in this role. All right. So, Now, before we get started on that, I do want to touch on this because what the F is this? Now, if you guys can't tell, I don't know, can I zoom in on this? Is that possible? Yeah. Now, yo, if you looked at this, first of all, this is insane because this is clearly like not like a real still picture. And you can tell where we are with the cherry blossoms, which is crazy that they, I guess cherry blossoms is popular for Asian people, so they were like, yo, let me put this in the background. And specifically, this is like a Chinese poster. But if you see the outline in this, who the hell is that? Because if you, right, not only does this looks like Bruce Banner. This doesn't look like a black dude at all. and and nor a superhero. This looks like they put a Bruce Banner in here holding a shield fighting Hulk. Cause look at this head first of all. Look at the massive like width of that head. Like like only certain people got a width head like that, and Mark Ruffalo is one of those people. And like look at this hair. Like I can clearly see this hair. This is not a black person's hair at all. So like I mean, hell, they would have did better by putting the leader in here and making it seem like oh he's the real villain. But geez, yeah. So and I'm not getting crazy with it. I'm just saying that I think it's unfortunate that this is Anthony Mackie's movie. This is Captain America's movie, and this is the type of advertisement that he gets over in China. And I think they said this about Black Panther. I think they said that they put like what was claw or something like on the poster or something. So yeah, I think it's messed up, bro. And shout out to Anthony Mackie who off screen, is dealing with this as a leading man, and and that could hurt somebody's ego for real. You could either really not care, or you could be like, yo, fix me. You know what I'm saying? Like did we care about the box office? They cared about the box office that much that they were like, yo, we not putting you on there. And then blacked them out. Like redded him out too. Like not even blacked him out. That's crazy. Like you can't even be black in color nor brown in color. You gotta be red. So it's like Red Hulk versus Red Hulk. This dude could have just been looking in the mirror. Hell, they should have just took a still from the movie of him at the podium as president. Like that's insane. Yeah, so whatever. Stuff we got to deal with, right? All right, uh so the third part of my breakdown um was about Kang. Now, or my third suggestion. Now, there's a bunch of Kangs, right? Like we all understand that Kang is not just one person, which is why we were kind of excited about the idea of Kang being in the MCU. uh, Too many writers and not enough good supporting actors around Mackie. Still giving it a 6 out of 10. Now, okay, I'm glad you said that because not enough good supporting actors. And this is what I mean about bringing Kang in here. Jonathan Majors is a hell of an actor. And even if you haven't seen him in a lot of stuff, um, he had that one HBO show. Um, man, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a black, not just a black, but it was like a science fiction kind of like futuristic thing, which was really good. That's how I got introduced to him. Being in Creed and even just being in the Loki series and the Ant-Man movie. Regardless of how you feel about how he was written, you have to admit he's a good ass actor, and not a lot of people could pull off different like looks and stuff like that. Now, mind you, we only got a quick glimpse of these three. We only got a quick glimpse of these three, but The reason why I bring this up is because if if Jonathan Majors was in this movie, it would have made it better. Now, I'll explain how he would fit in the movie and what role he would be playing, but having the talent of Jonathan Majors alongside Anthony Mackie would make this movie better. Just like having Michael B. Jordan along with Chadwick Boseman made Black Panther beautiful and cinematic. I don't care what you say about the acting of Chadwick Boseman or whatever. Having Michael B. Jordan's presence in that movie made it so much better. And knowing that he was like an antithesis. Now, the dude that played M'Baku and all of that, and Shuri and all of that, and Nakia and all of that, and the Dora Milaje, all of those people made that movie so much better or brought it to life because, like Raj said, it had good supporting actors. But because you had so many limited characters that they shoehorned in this movie, I say that having Jonathan Majors in this movie alone would have made it at least an 8 out of 10. And I'll explain why. So, these are three versions of Kang that were on the Kang Council. Okay? Specifically, you got Immortus, right, who is this guy, right? You got Centurion, which is this guy, and then you got Ramatut, which is this guy. Now, when you're trying to explain like who Kang is, basically he's a guy from the future that's actually related to Reed Richards, who's part of the Fantastic Four. He's a descendant of his, who basically, got his technology right and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go back in the past," and then he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna take over the past." And throughout time, he's landed in different parts of time. So these are where all these variants come in. Now, depending on how Marvel writes it, I think the way they were trying to write it is all the variants were basically just like him landing in different points of time and then becoming these different characters. Whereas in the comics, sometimes it's, oh, he was Ramatut and then he was Centurion and then he was Immortus and yada 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 through different stages of his life. And then we'll also talk about He Who Remains from the Loki series. But you had when you look at the Ant-Man movie, you had Kang the Conqueror, right? And in the Loki series, you had He Who Remains, and then you had the Council of Kangs, right? And then I'll explain the other two later. But these are all different versions of Kang. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you had a specific version of Kang in this movie where it fit, if you didn't know that he was a Kang variant, having Jonathan Major's presence in the movie would have made it. You would have been like, "Yo, what's going on with this? Like, what's it?" And you may not have known, right? And then and then shout out to the Lizard King right here. All right, we'll talk about that in a second. So, what Raj said, DC cherry blossoms were a gift from Tokyo in 1912. And Majors is a very good actor. Mackie versus Major is way better than Rudd versus Major. Exactly. Right? And again, I'm not taking away from what he did in the movie because I think you had to have King the Conqueror in this movie. I don't know what came of King the Conqueror at the end of the movie and what they were gearing towards, but I think that was to bring out the council, which is important, right? And yes, the acting of Mackie versus Kang, especially if you don't know what's really going on and it's kind of like stuff is happening behind the scenes and Sam has to kind of figure it out, it would make more sense. So, the reason why I bring up the council is because at the end of Ant-Man Quantumania, they're basically like, yo, the Avengers are like touching like the starting to touch like the multiverse and they're gonna mess up the plans that we have. And then they mention Kang the Conqueror, who they exiled, which was a major plot line for Kang in the movie. And it shows that these three really have control. And not only that, but they were able to call in the rest of the variants later in the movie, right? So um, it was like it showed that the council were the three major players um, in the movie. All right. I was trying to see if I had another. Oh yeah. And what I mean by this is one of the scenes, and yeah, shout out to the Lizard King. But like all of these like millions of kings that's going on, these are all the kings that they called. So these are all the kings that the Avengers was gonna have to deal with. So it wasn't just a matter of you got to deal with one super powerful king. It was the fact that you were gonna have waves of king that are basically ready to die for what they want, and basically, then you still got these three in the background that are like, they're just sending the other kings out for fodder, right? Kill as many people as you can kill, and then you deal with us later. So, hold on. so, so again, the importance of these three kings being the council, and really Immortus is the leader. Like it's very clear in the scene. If you ever get a chance to go back on YouTube and just watch the scene, like it's clear that these two are following Immortus. So it's interesting, like what they both have to offer, or what really all three of them have to offer. Now, when we talk about that, this leads us ties in again to the Loki series, because at the end of Loki, well, not at the end of Loki, but throughout Loki, one of the major people behind the scenes of Loki was He Who Remains, right? And this depiction of the like, I'll just say the hall, because I don't know if there's an actual name for this. They kind of walk through this hall to get to the office, I'll call it. But this looks like these three were the three from the council. And the four of them, because this one is broken, are the ones that made the sacred timeline. And the sacred timeline is basically keeping 616 like intact, right? But He Who Remains got all everybody out of here, and then he was the only person that was dealing with the sacred timeline. So the question is, because there's four statues in here and not five, is this broken one Kang the Conqueror, or did these three break this because it was He Who Remains, and then excuse me, somehow He Who Remains got rid of the three of them? Because this clearly was important enough for the three of them to be upset about. So if these three are the most powerful out of all of these other kings, of all these middle millions of kings, if these other three are the most important, then who's the fourth one that they were worried about? Was it King the Conqueror that they exiled? Was it He Who Remains that ended up being in charge of the whole sacred timeline and kicked them out? Or was it another king that they had to worry about? Now, my theory, or what I would have done, right, is, and I think his name is Goliath here in the background, right? The threat of the Council of Kings should have been fallen down on Captain America, specifically because this movie is called Brave New World, and what's new about it? What's brave about it? What are we concerned about, right? Um, now, um, now again, these three are kind of working in the background though, so I think they're at like that. No one know, and I mean, hell, if you see any of these three dudes roll up on you, you're gonna be like, I'm not gonna trust any of this, right? You got a dude that looks like a robot, a dude that looks like a pharaoh, like unless it's a costume party, and a blue guy, like straight up blue guy, like who looks crazy. And I'm not saying that they're scrolls and that they can change people, right? Because I think this. this one right here looking like a lizard, and then there's another one down here that look crazy too. He got a green thing going on. You know, like some of them are obviously not like people that can embed themselves into um, everyday society, right? So the one that I'm talking about is no, not Victor Timely, who was uh, who was brought in the Loki season 2, which was really dope to show that there are other like Kangs that you can pull in from different time points. And it didn't look like he was in any of the millions of other Kangs that was out there. But I'm talking about Mr. Griffin, right? Now, probably gonna be like, yo, who the hell is Mr. Griffin, right? So instead of me explaining who Mr. Griffin is, I'm gonna let somebody else explain it to. Now I'm gonna play this, and please let me know if you guys cannot hear it. I hope you can. I hope you can. Let's see. Shout out to Average Will on YouTube. Appreciate this. Oh.
Mr. Griffin is a result of a glitch in the time stream that caused Kang to divide into two entities. One of the versions found themselves stuck in the modern era, unable to leave, trapped behind some type of firewall. He took on the alias of Mr. Griffin. He founded Kang Enterprises and bought Stark Tower. He set a plan in place to create his own dynasty in that time era. Mr. Griffin is a version of Kang, so he has all of the same abilities. He can access and manipulate chronal energy to create portals, time energy force fields, and fire concussive blast. Although he's trapped there by the firewall, he is able to manipulate others and objects through time, just not himself due to the firewall. While employees were emptying Stark Tower, the Chitauri warrior Warbringer appeared in the tower. Mr. Griffin used Warbringer to gather the pieces of an ancient artifact that would allow him to traverse the time stream once again. That plan was ultimately ruined by a group of heroes. That same group of heroes decided to stay together to form the newest version of the Avengers. But Mr. Griffin, always thinking one step ahead, had a backup plan and had secretly taken control of Vision. As part of his long term plan, he also enlisted several criminals like Radioactive Man and Cyclone. The Avengers eventually discovered that Mr. Griffin was actually Kang the Conqueror when he revealed himself during their battle with multiple versions of Equinox. Mr. Griffin planned to use the power
Shout
of
out
Mighty
to
Thor's hammer to
Frank
travel through
Wilson,
time.
Captain America.
With the help of Vision, he was able to separate the Mighty Thor from her hammer and then sent her and Falcon off into the future. He began siphoning the power from the hammer, but his plan was delayed when Vision broke free of his control. Shortly after, the plan was totally ruined when the mighty Thor returned to the present with her future hammer. She used the power of both hammers to send Mr. Griffin off into the time stream. With us knowing that the Stark Tower has been sold in the MCU and Kang being the focus of the current phase of Marvel, could it be Mr. Griffin who bought Stark Tower? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. As always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to stop by the channel and check out these videos.
All right, so this is who I think. This is who I think they could have brought in as Kang to kind of manipulate this whole situation. Now, that was from comic books, right? But how do we know that? How do we know that Mr. Griffin is actually in the MCU? So there was a so in that scene where you had all of the Kangs kind of like in the stands and stuff, uh, Mr. Griffin was one of the people that teleported. He teleported into the arena like on the floor. So for whatever reason, you had certain kings that were kind of in the stands that looked like they were kind of like armed up and everything, and then you had Mr. Griffin who in like a full business suit teleported in, right? Um, so not only that, but like you knew like dude knows what he's doing. Like he ain't no dummy. But okay, so this random dude like appeared at the end of a end credit scene in Ant-Man Quantumania. What does that mean? Right? How do we know that he's really in the MCU? So there was mention and it was in one of the Spider-Man movies where the Stark Tower got bought. So if you remember kind of like in Endgame, everybody like Tony, well, and yeah, in Endgame, they were all kind of working out of like this facility that was kind of like in a stick somewhere, whatever. Like it wasn't Tony Stark's tower anymore. Somebody had bought Tony Stark's tower. And how do we know that it was actually this dude, Mr. Griffin? Because in the comics, Mr. Griffin's company is called Kang, right? But not Kang like Kang, Kang like Queag, Kang, right? Whatever. But guess what? In Loki, I don't remember. I think it was in. I don't remember which one. Which I think it was like in the first season when Loki first went into the void. Um, we seen in the void that Kang Tower was in here. So we know that on certain timelines that Mr. Griffin exists and that he bought Stark Tower and changed it into Kang Tower. And we know that somebody bought Stark Tower in the 616 and it had to be rich enough, billionaire enough to have done it. So it's very possible that it could have been one of the Kangs. And it's very possible because we know Marvel usually has forethought to where they're doing stuff. So it's very possible that they were thinking not only that, but we know that there's a Kang Tower that was bought. So, in my opinion, I think that they could have used this version of Kang because we haven't really had a technical Kang variant in the 616 that we know about because all of these other ones seem to be from other places because we've never seen them interact with any of the Avengers. So, what better way than to just have a Mr. Griffin come in that is kind of like dealing with people on a personal level, on a business level? He could embed his way into what's going on, right? He's still a conqueror. He's still going to try to take over stuff, but this is what he does. So, my theory is Kang comes in, and not only that, but he's friends with President Ross. Not only is he friends with President Ross, but on an Elon type tip, he's the one that got him elected, right? Because they've showed videos like, and when you look at Captain America, Brave New World, there are like videos of like Ross being like, angry at the podium and stuff like that, and he clearly needed like votes and support and stuff. I mean, he was a general, right? He was known for, you know, trying to hunt down um, Bruce Banner as the Hulk, and now Hulk is a superhero. So it could be very well that people didn't like him that much, or he wouldn't be so popular. So they never really explained how he got popular enough to be voted in as president. Because the whole thing was just like, oh, he's gonna go after, trying to make peace treaties with Japan for the celestial body. But like, why would random like citizens that are used to dealing with aliens and all of this crazy stuff in this post Endgame world, blip world, why would they care what Ross does, and what would make him popular enough to be president? He's not even popular enough to have a relationship with his daughter, and clearly that was public. So he would need something. So why not somebody that's kind of like Tony Stark without all the arrogance? Somebody that people actually like, stuff that has products that people enjoy, somebody that's charismatic. It doesn't necessarily seem like they're the ones that want to be in the spotlight. And they just so happen to be like a good character, and like, yo, let's give this other guy a chance. So here comes this billionaire, Mr. Griffin, coming in like, yo, support my boy Ross. And then what we don't know is that he's behind this whole movie, and that's why everything happened the way it happened, because he wanted it to, because essentially he wanted Ross to go Hulk mode. He wanted Avengers on his side, and he wanted to control everything. But I'll get to it. So as I was rewatching Captain America: Brave New World, I started plugging in where Mr. Griffin could fit, so that it would be seamless. Like, it wouldn't be like, yo, who's this random character that I never even seen or heard of? And we know that Jonathan Majors could play like a smooth brother talking, right? So here I have Mr. Griffin, CEO of Kang Enterprises, as a billionaire who possibly bought Avengers Tower in Spider-Man: Homecoming. Okay. And that was the scene where Happy was on the phone. I think he was talking to them, and then he was like, "Hold on, I gotta take this call." And he was trying to like move out all of like Tony's stuff out of the tower, right? Um, and he could have also been friends with Ross, so they could have been longtime friends for whatever reason that a politician and a billionaire would want to be friends with. Um, and he could have funded Ross's whole campaign, and been like a kind of like a liaison, like Elon is with President Trump, and been behind the plot to bring the whole Avengers together under watchful control of the government. So now that's the other important part, right? The other important part is Ross, when he pitched the whole idea of bringing the Avengers together, it wasn't on some like, yo, like we need, like America needs the Avengers. It was on some like, nah, like I want to control the Avengers. But it also doesn't seem like that doesn't seem like that was his idea, in my opinion, in the movie, because he's had so many issues with the Avengers in the past, and he wanted them to follow the law and the accords, but he didn't necessarily want them to be under the control of the president or under the army or whatever. But in this one, it specifically was like, no, I want to be able to have like the Avengers on call to do what I want them to do. So I feel like, again, Mr. Griffin would have been the person that would have been. So instead of essentially like where the black girl is in the movie, that's like supposed to be Sans like in with keeping an eye out on the president, which never works, and I'll get to that. But essentially every scene where like Ross is like randomly talking to her for seemingly no reason to kind of just fill in space or whatever, if everything that he said to her, he said to his liaison, which is Mr. Griffin, it would have made more sense, especially because if you know that Mr. Griffin was manipulating him, then you would be like, oh, okay, yeah, like everything's kind of like working in his favor. Okay, so now, the question is, why would Mr. Griffin care about the whole like Japan peace treaty with the Celestial, right? So basically, like Kang is a scientist, right? No matter like which version you get of him, he's a scientist and he's a genius. And in this particular scenario, he wants to have access to technology that's gonna get him out of where he is at first, but then eventually, like he wants to be able to have technology that's gonna let him conquer the time period that he's in. If they're saying that adamantium from the celestial is the most important metal of Earth, even more important than vibranium, and can be controlled, any type of billionaire industrialist would want that. Hell, even Tony Stark would definitely want something like that. But not only that, these are things that they said that they can do in the movie. These are things that they said that they can do with that, with the adamantium. Besides the whole Wolverine claws thing, he would use it for portals, right? He can use it for energy and time energy force fields and for time manipulation, because we know that Kang is big on time. Like this whole thing is about controlling the timeline and all of that stuff. And with the power that he was able to gain from that adamantium and the technology that he can use with it, those are things that he would be able to do, just like Kang the Conqueror wanted to do before and after he was stuck in the quantum realm, right? All right, so and then I just also want to point out that clearly, like you guys saw in the video, Sam was Captain America when they were dealing with Mr. Griffin. So that's a very like current and relevant kind of storyline. So fitting him in here would make sense, right? And to that point, they didn't realize that he was actually a King variant until all of them started messing him up. All right. He could use the power of Tiamat to break free of the firewall. The firewall is basically the thing that's keeping Mr. Griffin trapped in that timeline, if so he choose, right? Um, Now the other crazy thing is why didn't it's crazy that, and this is just a side note, right? So they wanted to connect the Eternals to Captain America by having the Celestial in there, but they didn't bring any of the Eternals in at all when they saw that these countries was going to war over this Celestial, which their whole purpose was like dealing with the Celestial. So what's going on with that? Anyway, now Kang could have been um all right, so this was my point, right? So how do you fit Mr. Griffin? Now, Mr. Griffin could have been one of Sam's friends that he was in the Air Force with, right? I mean, who's to say like what kind of lifestyle that Mr. Griffin would have had in the timeline, but if it would have made more sense for him to be in that role because he or have a relationship with Sam personally, and could have been like one of his, an ex a vet or something, or said he was a vet and kind of had a relationship or something, and and then so like when they see each other again, in the White House, it's not like yo, who's that, right? So you could have easily made that type of connection. Like we know that Sam was in the Air Force for a long time. Hell, maybe they even had some type of working relationship or something. Anything could have happened, so they could have known each other, or he could have just been like brought in like Elon on the whole Ross tip, and he had no idea who he was. But essentially, like everything would started when Sam went to the White House, and then they cleared out the room, and then he was talking to him and everything like that. Like Mr. Griffin would have been in the room with him talking. So um and I don't know, maybe they could have like in the news thing, I mean, I think like when Ross was going to do his acceptance speech or whatever, like they could have like mentioned you know Mr. Griffin or something to show their relationship or whatever, or do a flashback to like him like helping him on the campaign, or showing that he donated a certain amount of money or whatever, just to show like what kind of status he has and kind of like what kind of relationship he has, right? And then now the pressure to take the serum should have been amplified at every turn, right? I feel like them just mentioning it, oh, Sam, take the serum, take the serum. Um, I feel like they were just like mentioning it because they felt like people maybe didn't watch the show, so maybe people didn't understand why he didn't take the serum. But I feel like they could have they could have fit that in the storyline more. Okay, and I'll get to that. So it opens with Ross about to accept his presidency, and then we see the initial conversation between Mr. Griffin Ross take place, and Ross would be concerned with Betty, right, not being there. So that's when the whole black girl showed up the first time, and then he could have been like, like, hey, look, I know Betty's not here. I got my people trying to get in touch with her to just to make sure she's okay, and everything like that, but trying to reassure Ross, like, yo, you got to go on stage. Like, this is your moment. This is everything you've been working for, whatever, whatever. Go out there and make your speech. So he would be kind of like this reassuring kind of like figure in his ear, right? Now, I'm not going to, at first I was like, oh, maybe he could be his VP, but I think like maybe his VP or just maybe like a liaison or something, but definitely somebody that makes it seem like he doesn't want to be in power, even though ultimately that's what he wants, right? Then there's a scene at the cemetery where Ross is concerned with his legacy for his first 100 days and hoping that the treaty with Japan works, even though he had no real motivation to dealing with Japan. Griffin would have been there ensuring him or reassuring him that it will work and that he would guarantee it. So like while like Ross is kind of struggling like to like concerned about like this whole I gotta do this in my first 100 days and make something happen that's important. Then you would have kind of like Griffin like don't worry about it, like it'll happen. I got people out there like that's working on this and yada yada yada, kind of like this whole team thing again, like even though he's not directly involved, but he really is involved and he really is making stuff happen. But it may not be what Ross is thinking because again, he's manipulating like the whole situation, right? Um, then at Celestial Island World Summit, um, this is where I was saying like Sam had a friend in the White House. This is where Sam would have met Mr. Griffin and the idea to bring the Avengers together. Why and then it would make sense of like why there's a change of heart. Right? Like Sam could have been like, yo, like you don't even like the Avengers. Like, why do you have a change of heart all of a sudden? And then he would like be like, Mr. Griffin thinks like it would be a good idea, yada yada yada. And then the introduction to adamantium, and then explaining that whole thing, and then we would understand like what Mr. Griffin's kind of motivation is. How you gonna delete the thing after I was trying to read it? Why you delete it? Why you delete it? Raj, why you delete it? I was about to read it. Look, you giving me my props. Whatever. Whatever. You can't win them all. All right. Now, so all right. So then the whole thing with you know, the Ross does the speech and all of that stuff. Oh, oh yeah, thank you about the sermon. But I'll get to that. I'll explain that. Um, okay, and then like the whole thing with you know, um, Ross gets shot at, and then he gets retreated into the bunker. Um, he like Mr. Griffin would have been in there, right? So Ross getting mad and upset, like what the hell is going on, and we got to do this, and that. Like Mr. Griffin would have been in there, like yo, like look, man, like there's a place. Look, Sam, I know, like there's a place that we could put him. You know what I mean? That like I understand, like you're concerned about him until we get this all figured out. Like we'll put him there. like until we get this all figured out. So now he's manipulating both of them, right? So now he's like pretending like he's friends with both of them, and he's kind of like warming up to Sam, trying to pretend like he understands where he's coming from. Yo, we black, bro. Like we brothers. We gotta stay together. Like I don't want to see this brother like get put out, whatever. Like, look, let me see what I can do. You know what I mean? I'll talk to Ross and see. You know what I mean? I got you. Whatever, whatever. Like we're not gonna like just put this dude in like Guantanamo or nothing. Like let me talk to him, but figured it out. You know what I mean? And smooth that over. So there's still that tension of like Sam's still concerned about Isaiah, but again, you have like Griffin like kind of manipulating that, and now he's trying to be buddy buddy with Sam, right? So like now it's like you think, oh okay, I got somebody I can call on, I got like a friend, whatever, or just an acquaintance, somebody that understands me, and really like he's playing both sides, right? Oh, you did that for the spelling and the grammar. That's crazy. Um, so yeah, but that's what it is, right? So now he's like buddy in between that, and then he just disappears, right? Because he's not the center person, but he's like that person, like oh look, I'll take care of you, I got you, yada yada yada, and then like everyone's just like nah, but like we know like you don't, because we've seen this kind of character before in different versions. We know it ain't all like what he's saying it is, right? So then on Air Force One, when Ross is like doing the bikes and all of that, he can be up there with him again. Like he's a billionaire, he ain't got nothing else to do. He's just rolling with the president wherever he go. He just there with him, right? So then they talking, and then the president is like talking about the importance of the treaty again, and how he doesn't want to roll like Captain America out there in the streets. Um, and then the leader and realizes he's behind the killings, right? So, um, so then it's like, Sam is off trying to like deal with the leader and all of that stuff. Because remember, there's that scene like he goes back to talking to him and trying to like when he so they discover that the leader is behind everything, right? And the leader's the one manipulating Isaiah and all the people that he was trying to get to kill the president or not really kill the president. Uh, and also like when Sam and Joaquin like went to the bunker, like they had questions like where'd all of this like facility stuff come from, and how come he's not like they just had all these like questions that just seemed like they wasn't answered, and it would be because Mr. Griffin is the one that funded the black site, right? So yeah, Ross could try to have that um the government secret funds or whatever, but he needs to keep that off the books. So Mr. Griffin got the black site, right? He's the one that got the computer set up and made sure old boy had everything he needed, yada yada yada. And maybe not in a direct way, but maybe he's also like one of the reasons why the leader is giving him these pills. Okay, so Raj said, can I talk about how bad the first fight scene was between the leader and Cap and New Falcon? Yeah, so that's where I'm at, right? So somebody brought this up, like, yo, like, how come Cap and Falcon didn't walk into the facility with their suits on? Excuse me. And then somebody tried to like, oh, they didn't need to, they felt like they didn't need to, yada yada. Like, why would you take that chance? Like, you're walking into a military base. Oh, they were like they were trying to be discreet. Well, why can't they be discreet with their stuff on? Like, they were discreet in a Falcon. Matter of fact, hell, they could have sent Red Wing in there. They didn't even use Red Wing in this the right way. Now that I think about it, because Red Wing, all in the Falcon series, was scanning everything and getting the lay of the land before they were doing anything. And I realized he didn't really do any of that. All he did was send them to like eject people from airplanes, but he didn't really use Red Wing to do any type of recon, and he got both of them. Now, talking about the fight itself, yeah, like why they didn't have the suits on didn't make sense. Then you had like these. Where the hell were these people hiding at that they didn't know like these people were in there at all? It's crazy. But yeah, it was just kind of like lackluster, and Sam just be getting his butt kicked. Um, and then dude just escaped, and it was just kind of whack. And then he used some type of he was like standing, and then Sam went to go strike him, and then he had like the sound wave thing that was like random as hell coming from the ceiling. Like who the hell designed the lab to be like, yo, we're gonna make sure that we're gonna get this one person or a person in this one exact spot to put the sound wave on them so that they can't hit somebody. Like, get the hell out of there. And then especially because the leader don't be having good calculations anyway. He should have got punched at least. Oh, because of underused, because of the budget and bad writing, maybe. Hell, but I mean, listen, I think Red Wing could have did a lot better. I think Red Wing could have did a lot better than some of the stuff that Joaquin did. And to be honest, and I thought about this when I first watched the movie, I think Joaquin shouldn't even call himself Falcon. I feel like he should call himself Red Wing or something to the effect of, like, he shouldn't even call himself Falcon. Like, I think like the moniker of Falcon should not be something that's passed down just because the other one was passed down. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But whatever. But yeah, like it was just unnecessary, and again, like it just feels so disjointed from like the rest of everything else. So, um, but again, whether it goes good or bad, right? Because that I mean that really that whole scene could have went 50-50. Because again, I don't think the leader's calculations really was that great. I think that if Kang was behind it as the master manipulator and he accounted for it to go either way, I think that would have made more sense. Because then, like the leader, if he falls short, it doesn't matter because you know that everyone's still getting manipulated in the background, right? So, all right. So then this kind of fast forwards a little bit to the scene where the Top Gun scene where like they're flying around and all of this stuff. Joaquin gets shot out the sky, and I think he shouldn't have got shot out the sky. And one, because we've already been through that when Rhodey got shot out the sky, and there was more of an emotional impact, especially because it was Sam's fault because he dodged it, and it was his fault, and then Rhodey like lost his legs, and then that all got like washed away with the whole kind of scroll thing with Secret Invasion. Here, neither here nor there, whatever. The point is, I don't think people care enough about Joaquin that if he got shot out the sky and died, people would just be like, okay. Because just because he has the title of Falcon doesn't mean we care. A lot of people don't even know him. This is their first time seeing him. It doesn't matter. So I think that whole thing should have happened up until the point where Sam should have rushed and pushed Joaquin out the way, and in doing so, got hit with a stray. And then he should have been the one to fall in the ocean. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, after that happened, that whole scene was kind of done, right? And then they're just back in the hospital. So I think it would have made more sense for Sam to be in the hospital trying to recover and not badly bruised, because I mean not badly damaged, but hurt. Had to get like rushed to the hospital, not like he can't walk no more, but hurt. I mean he had a Black Panther suit pretty much on, but he still should have been hurt. They still should have took him there, brought him into the hospital. It would have made more sense why Bucky showed up. They could have had the like kumbaya moment, whatever, whatever. Then the girl could have the I don't even want to call her uh Black Widow, White Widow. What should we call her? I don't even know. I don't even know. Let's come up with another widow name for her. Let's think about that, right? I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. But the other widow comes in and then has that like moment, like talking about Bucky, which was unnecessary. And but then Joaquin could have showed up, and then they could have had that, and he could have been like, "Oh man, like I didn't mean to," like, and then Sam could have been like, "Look, I gotta take care of my team." The president's window, Dev, yo, the president's widow. I like that. That's a bar. Let's see. Can I like this? Let's see. Oh, I can't like it. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't. Oh, yes, I can. I'll give you the celebration one. There you go. Yeah, bro. I wish I could like. I would pin this, but I don't know. Oh, I can. I can pin it. I pinned your message. Appreciate you, Cuzzo. Um, the president's widow. Dope. All right. So yeah. So that's my whole point. Like, it would have we it would have been more emotional if Sam fell out the sky, right? Because then people would have been like, "Yo, is this dude gonna die?" Would they care? I think they would care more about saying that he didn't die and show that he was actually human, show that he doesn't have the serum, and show that, yo, like, it's important. Like, he's out here really fighting these dudes, like without any type of superpower. But he's still accountable for his team. I think the fact that Joaquin got shot out the sky and almost got hurt undermines him as a leader, right? Because it shows like he can't even keep up with one dude that's flying with him that he's directly training, but he can keep up. But he's supposed to be a leader of an Avengers team, and then like, oh, I'm on point. No, no, no. He should have sacrificed himself for Joaquin to show that this is why his team has to be on point, right? So stuff like this doesn't happen. Whatever. And then they could have had their whole like, I've seen this happen before, yada yada yada, whatever. And then guess who shows up? Guess who's the last person to come visit Sam in the hospital? Because Sam is human and we can see that he's human. Mr. Griffin. And Mr. Griffin is like, yo, like you really like helped us out there in Japan. Like, things are like working out the way that they're supposed to because of you. Like we appreciate you. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna make sure like me and the president are making sure like you have everything you need. Like, even if you're on the fence about the whole Avengers being with us, whatever, like we do appreciate your, what you did, da da da. Like you really are Captain America. Like I don't care what nobody else says. Like you're my Captain America, and then made it like important. Like yo, you're human. You're putting your body and your life on the line, but we appreciate you. Isaiah still ain't out yet, but I got something for you. I got this serum for you. Now, Mr. Griffin could pretend like, yo, he has no idea how Sam feels about the serum, da da da. But he's like, yo, look, I had my people recreate it, or we found it from the last one. Yo, I know, old boy from the TV show went crazy on it, but like we made sure like this was a good batch. This is the last one, and I know you said in the past like you don't want to take it, but I'm just gonna put this right here. I'm just gonna leave it right here, and you decide. Like you don't have to take it, but you keep it. You protect it. You protect the serum. You're Captain America. You protect this serum. Yo, see what I'm saying? Sam getting hit would have been better writing. Also, more Bucky and Sam. But oh wait, there's the Thunderbolts who seemed so boring, and I haven't even seen the movie. Yeah, but look, but Bucky would have came down like, yo, like, I'm running for office or whatever, but I'm not gonna leave my boy out here. Like I had to come check on you, make sure you good. Like, yo, I still appreciate you, yada yada yada. And then Griffin kind of wraps up that whole thing with like, yo, here's a serum, you protect it. Like there's no one else deserves the serum but you. You don't have to take it, but it's up to you. And then aha. And then guess what happens? The leader turns himself in. And Ross hears about it, and then he turns into Red Hulk. Kang as Mr. Griffin sounds fun and interesting. Sam and Bucky versus Kang is a much-watched cinema. You could do it that way, because now you got the Red Hulk. And yo, honestly, like even though like it's supposed to be Sam's movie, Bucky helping out trying to like fight Red Hulk would have like put butts in seats, because people didn't watch the show. They don't know if they fought together or not. That would have drew people in for sure. I agree. But not only that, remember this is all Mr. Griffin's kind of like plan falling in together, right? So now he's in the hospital with Sam. Sam sees on TV that Ross is turned into the Hulk. People are freaking out. Sam's getting up out of the bed. Mr. Griffin's like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, nah, like I gotta go take care of this. He's like, yo, but like you had a bad accident. He's like, I don't care. Like I have to stop this. Right? Now, then he puts his like he's slow to get up out of bed because he's human, and we're seeing that he's human. And even though he got the offer of taking the serum, he's still like, nah, I'm not gonna take it. I'll hold on to it so no one else gets it, but I'm not gonna take it. But I am gonna go deal with this Hulk as a human in my suit, right? The leader as Red Hulk is a good idea. Never thought of that. Well, I'm not necessarily saying the leader is the Red Hulk. I'm just saying the leader is still doing everything he did in the movie, and he turns himself in, and that still results in Ross becoming Red Hulk. Because people are lose their minds if you change who turns into the Red Hulk. Keep that whole thing, but what I mean is you still have Mr. Griffin manipulating the whole thing. Like he knows the leader is turning himself in. Matter of fact, he's the one that leaked the whole thing to the press, so it made more sense. It literally didn't make sense how Ross found out that the leader turned himself in that quickly. But if Mr. Griffin was behind it, it would have made more sense, right? He could have had it like set up and ready to go. Hell, he could even have like reporters at the thing with Ross. And the fact that you had Mr. Griffin visiting Sam in the hospital when Ross was giving a speech would show again that whole manipulation tactic. Like, yo, I could let my boy over there. Like, I needed to make sure you were okay. But really, he's manipulating the whole situation, tempting Sam with the serum, this and that. Right? Okay. So Sam still goes to fight Red Hulk. In my opinion, I don't think Sam should have been the one to talk Ross down. But before that, I think as he was getting his butt kicked, I really think him being like, maybe I really do need to take this serum. I think that would have had higher stakes, because it's like having the ring from Lord of the Rings. Like he's really like tempted, right? Like it's here in my pocket. Like I can take this and really might stand up the Hulk, but let me try it a different way. And then maybe somehow like Sam is the reason why Betty is there. And he's like, yo, instead of like fighting, like we're not gonna fight. I know exactly what you need. And then he brings in Betty. And the reason why I say that is because Sam doesn't have a relationship with Ross to talk him down. But he is a grief counselor. He is a vet counselor. He understands like some people are vulnerable and what they need. And he easily could have went and got Betty. Right? I think somehow, hell, he could even have Joaquin get Betty. Right? And be like, nah, Joaquin, like, I got this. And be like, I got this. Like, I still got to be the one to fight. But then when he realizes, like, yo, he can't fight no more, like, yo, like, let me do it a different way. And then he tries to bring in Betty. And Betty is the one that brings Ross down. Exactly. That's why he shouldn't be a vet. He shouldn't be a vet counselor. That's why he shouldn't have been the one to talk him down. He should have let Betty do it. But if he had the forethought to make sure that Betty was there to make that happen, again, that shows like, yo, like he knows what he's talking about. Like he is a captain. Like, and then people would be like, look, he might not be able to fight. Like he might not be able to fight like Ross or like Steve, but he's his own type of Captain America that's still just as valuable. And again, I think showing him as a leader and as a person that can do conflict resolution and it doesn't always have to come down to fighting, I think that shows Sam's strength more than it shows, excuse me, a weakness. But like if Sam couldn't talk him down, they were in trouble because like Hulk was killing that daggone suit and Sam ain't had nothing else. And the whole thing about, oh, I should have took the serum, I should have took the serum, it was like, bro, that was like a year ago. Like now you want to take it, but what if you're really like tempted by it, right? All right, so then Ross comes down. Uh, he has his kumbaya moment with his daughter. He's still going to jail though, but he's going to the jail. He's going to a jail of um, Mr. Griffin's choosing, so that Mr. Griffin could have him right where he wants. And that's how we realized that Mr. Griffin was really the one behind the whole like jail in the ocean. He's the one that funded it. So now we're realizing like, yo, Mr. Griffin really has his hands like really deep in these projects and stuff and these facilities and all of this stuff. Like, it really makes you think about like what he really got going on. And I think he's a different type of billionaire, but he has everybody where he wants. The leaders in jail. He has a relationship with Sam. Sam super trusts him, right? He got Ross in jail, the leader in jail. You know, then you could still have like Betty coming to visit him and all of that stuff. And everything makes more sense. And you realize that Kang was behind the whole thing. And then instead of Captain America confronting Ross in his cell, I mean maybe you could have that too. But but more importantly, oh, I guess you still needed that, right? Because Ross needed to explain that he was dying and that he needed the leader's help to make those pills and yada yada yada. That's when we find out that Griffin is the one that funded the whole black site and all of that stuff. But if Kang, now we know it's Kang, if Kang is the one at the end credit scene that goes and visits the leader, and the leader's like, yo, like, all right, I did what you said, like, let me out. And then he's like, I can't, because like they're coming. Or whatever the hell the leader said. He's like, what? He's like, what? Yeah, and then like he kind of explains it, but still kind of keeps it vague. But he's like, yeah, they're coming. I might need you. And he like, oh snap! Like he cleared the board and he has everybody where he wants them. And then you can come back to him or not, because they're probably not gonna go back to the leader. But you saw that he manipulated the whole situation. He got everybody that he wanted, and now you have like a I don't want to call it that. I'm not gonna call it that, but you have a wild card character that you can bring in whenever you want. And hell, he could even be the first person that Doom kills, and takes over Tony's tower if you really wanted it to. Am I the only one who wants Sam to take the serum already? He keeps having to work harder than everyone else for what? For who? Because he's human, right? He's supposed to be the embodiment of Captain America as a human in modern times. And I'm okay with that. But if you're gonna keep talking about it, like just like make it more of a temptation for him. Like Sam has no temptation in this movie whatsoever. He doesn't have the temptation to take the serum. He doesn't have any type of temptation of any female in this whole entire movie and or series, which is another point that I brought up in my video. If you want to check out my short, um, and then you can go and look at number three. And I won't tell y'all. I'll let y'all go check that out. So go to my shorts tab and go check that out. But um, I mean, my dude ain't got no type of temptation to the point where like this ain't even his movie. Like he could have just been like, "Oh, Ross is Hulk. I ain't dealing with that. Somebody better call Bruce." Right? So the will he won't he with the temptation of the serum, but ain't no real temptation because apparently ain't no serum left. But if you got Mr. Griffin in there with the temptation, then everything is amplified, and you really get to see what Sam is dealing with. You get to see him as a leader. You get to see him dealing with like random, like powerful people. You get to see him as a human. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying Anthony Mackie take your shirt off, but I mean if you when you watch movies, especially like action movies, and you see like the people with the cuts and the bruises and all, like that's what we need to see. Like we need to understand that Sam is human, and that's what's making this more important. He doesn't need the serum. He has heart and integrity and drive and motivation, and he's doing this because he wants to do it, right? And he's not no puppet, and he's still gonna do it. And with all the hate and everything stacked against him, he's still gonna do it. That's the job that he took on. And then with Ross out the way, with the leader out the way, you know, does Griffin figure out a way to become president or whatever? I don't know, but I mean, he definitely got the connection with Japan, which he wanted. So now, then you could even do a whole thing where, like, you see that like Griffin is doing like mass production with Adamantium or something, and then he got everything that he wanted, bro, and no one is none the wiser. And then you still have that threat level. You still have that threat level of what's about to happen. And again, then if you want to turn around and you want to bring Doom in, and Doom comes into the arena and then he wants to kill everybody. Hold on, let me see. If you want Doom to come to the arena and kill all of these people, like again, he could start with Mr. Griffin first. But I feel like that higher level of manipulation and interest um, makes all of this feel more important. Dev said that's the best part about everything with Sam. Yeah, is that he's human. He's trying to be like Captain America, Bruce Wayne, but nicer and less fighting skills. Yep, I mean, but here's the thing. I'm not gonna say that he has less fighting skills because I mean he's been training with Captain America since the second movie, right? They had 5 years on a run. He had the whole like training montage with the shield. Now he got the wings, and he's training with Bradley and all of this stuff. I'm not gonna say that he has less fighting skills. He just has more. He has less power in his punch. But yeah, but that's the best part about Sam, is that he is human, and that he's gonna represent you regardless. Um, so questions, and Roger probably appreciate this. A couple of questions that I had from the movie itself. The why Sam wasn't wearing his helmet all the time during every scene there was gunfire, especially with like the Serpent Society scene, which is like straight out of what is it, that second Captain America movie, and also Den of Thieves. um how's he walking around without his helmet on all the time? Like dude could there was a scene at the end, or there was a I don't know. There was a scene where I'm like, yo, if somebody would have just shot him in the back of the head, Like this whole movie will be over. Dev said his suit definitely needs some Tony Stark upgrades. I mean, he did. He basically he got the helmet that appears and disappears just like Tony's does. You don't see him like putting it on. Maybe he got a button that it just appears on, but then he got all the Wakanda tech in there too. I mean, he got some upgrades in there. You just came up with a way better movie in 15 minutes than Had did in 2+ years. Yeah, and you know, and the sad part about it, like this ain't like I didn't come up with a whole movie. All I did was, since they were doing reshoots anyway, all I was doing was adding kind of like some touches here and there that would have just made everything made more sense. I mean, calling my writer brain maybe, but Raj, I do appreciate that, bro. I really, really do. I did. I spent some time, and like I said, I rewatched the movie. Before the movie came out, I had rewatched a bunch of stuff. Matter of fact, I just rewatched Quantum Mania, I think yesterday. So like I really put some time in trying to make this like idea work. And I think the fact that, I mean, look, and I hate to say it, but even if they were afraid of Jonathan Majors being Kang, that this dude could look like so many other things. Like they really could have just put any other black dude in there, really. And I hate to say it like that, but I mean they could have figured out a way to make it make sense. And the fact that they're so afraid of certain things, but then willing to like risk like a loss at the box office, ain't my money, bro. Ain't my money. But I hope all y'all did appreciate this, and you know, I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. I don't even care. I'll never rewatch this movie ever again. Probably not. Like I don't even see myself like doing like a Captain America like marathon. I think I'm good at least for the next 10 years. I watched it twice, bro. A lot of people ain't watched this thing twice, so I think I'm good. He has too many connections to not have the best suit out between Wakanda, Stark, Bruce Banner, and Cap Shield. He could be a beast. He'll probably be a better fighter than a regular villain. Well, yeah, I don't know where the hell Bruce Banner is right now. Don't forget Tony Stark is dead, and I think somebody bought up all his stuff. But again, that really should have been Mr. Griffin that bought up all his stuff. And I hate to say it, but Mr. Griffin could have been like, "Yo, Sam, here's another upgrade for you. Yo, you need some nanotech. Does it take you too long to get into the suit? Here, put this button, put this star button on your chest. So you just hit the star and then the suit come off." Well, the whole thing about the Hulks is I think they're gonna do World War Hulk or something. We have to ask like Troy and them and Mike and them about um, all that. I don't know how much TJ knows about it, but it seems like that's where they're going. But that's even more of a reason why I felt like this maybe shouldn't have been Captain America's movie. But that's just me. Storyline wasn't bad, it just needed more action. The movie was way too short. Well, Cuzzo, if they come out with a director's cut, it's all you, bro. Because I'm not sitting through it. Again, unless there's like a Kang in the background that they like the director's cut wants to introduce, I don't see it. I think the President's Widow chick is supposed to have some type of super suit or something, but I don't care enough about that to go and rewatch that whole movie. Yeah, yeah. So that's where we're at. Another question I had is the whole thing about when they were in the bunker. and Ross was like, "You're not Steve Rogers." Mm, mm, that was a little iffy, bro. That was a little undertone right there that I don't really appreciate. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say it was all the way over there on that other side of that line, but that was right on the line right there. And man, like they just swept it up under the rug. Just swept. Yeah, y'all could be like, "Oh no, he didn't mean it like that." You're not Steve Rogers. Yeah, we've been through that. Like you can look at me and tell me I'm not Steve Rogers. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Mr. President? Because you didn't get along with Steve Rogers either. So what do you mean by that? What are you trying to tell me? Yeah. He meant it like that. Mm, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You're not wrong. This was not a Cap movie. It was an ensemble story that featured Cap. That's why what is so disrespectful to the audience. Yeah, and I think the audience really feels it. Honestly, I think the audience really feels it. So whatever, man. They ain't my money, but they got to do better. Marvel, Marvel, you have to do better. Book it, save it, cut, print, send it. The black chick is supposed to warn off code reds of Ross, and fails every single time. I mean, Steve ain't getting no type of text message, no uh phone call, no email. Like, yo, your boy is bugging. Like, she just went along with everything this dude was saying. I guess she cared more about her job than she cared about letting Steve know what's up. Or Sam know what's up. So that whole I got a friend on my inside, Sam needs to check his friend circle, and I just don't like how they just shoehorn random people in here and try to pretend like they were important. How did the leader hack a secure line from a cell? I'm trying to remember what that was. I think, oh, so not the scene where he was at that dude's house. There was a scene before that where the leader called him from that base, and yeah, I don't know. It's like he had dude on speed dial. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he just had Ross on speed dial. Every scene she was in, she was just too stunned at. Hey, you're right. She offered nothing. There was reason, no reason for her to be in that movie. Falcon and Winter Soldier was better. They need to keep Sam and Bucky together. I agree. I agree. And this was my point in my last live that I did before the movie came out. Feel free to go check that out. It's on my live tab, also in the playlist. But I think that Sam, it needs to be Team America, and Rosh is gonna get upset, and I don't care, bro. Like it needs to be Team America. Hold on, especially if you don't take the serum, bro. Hey, hold on. I'm trying to get this thing to. Hold on, let me close some of these back on. Can I do it from here? There you go. Team America. Steve didn't do it alone, bro. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. He never was alone. In the first one, he had Peggy and like he had, matter of fact, Steve had a whole team. Steve, when even in the war, he had a whole team that they never talk about anymore. That's in the museum. Steve has never done it alone. Never. And Infinity War, he's never been alone, bro. Sam has always been on this team. They got Bucky on the team. They had Sharon Carter on the team. They had Black Widow on the team. He was never, ever alone. They're trying to take the attention of Anthony Mackie, but the movie would have did way better with both of them. And I agree 100%. Oh, you know what I was? This is just a random idea. Not even an idea, just a thought. Wouldn't the leader have done better if he manipulated Betty instead of manipulate or trying to manipulate everything around Ross? If he would have just messed with his daughter, you don't think that would have got him to change into the Red Hulk faster? Raj, I love you so much that I have to be honest and tell you, you're wrong. All right, and I'm gonna prove it to you. I get it. It's hard to remember this stuff. And the only reason I remember this stuff is because I just started rewatching all of this stuff. Can I get a bigger picture? I'm a switch to this. This picture is super small. I gotta um fine. Yeah, Steve has always had a crew, but just seemed like he was alone because his storyline and acting skills was way better. I agree 100%. Thank you, Dev. Yeah, definitely would have changed that faster, right? Oh, exactly. Why are you beating around the bush? Just go straight to the source. I hope the next Captain America will be better. Thank you, Devin. You said what I was trying to say. That Raj, he said what I was saying. Anyway, to answer your point, here's the picture. He's always had a team. I'm sorry I can't get a better picture. All right, trying to do all of this Googling. Do I think Fantastic Four will be better than Captain America? Somebody now I don't know if this is real. I read that Fantastic Four might be an hour and a half runtime, and people were like, "There's no way." I don't know, man. It just depends because it just depends, bro. Like I'm hoping. I don't know. I'm hoping it is because like they really need it to be. Like I haven't heard all the controversy that I've heard with this movie. It seemed like it was written, it was kept a secret. No one knows what's going on. We're all learning about it together. They got the casting they wanted. They got the Doom that they wanted. Um, and it's leading into the next thing. excuse me, which is Doomsday. Which this Captain America movie, I don't know what it's leading into, because anytime you think of adamantium, all you think about is Wolverine, and Wolverine is nowhere in sight right now. Oh my god. Um, but yes, I think it will be better because I think it has to be, and I think the promos for it is about to go crazy. I think it's gonna go crazy. I think there's no controversy, there's no like any type of political question marks, anything like that. I think it will do better because they wanted to do better. And I think the next phase of Marvel is riding on this movie to do well. And as we talk about that, and I'll put this question in the comments, what do y'all like Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom? Uh, yeah. So I mean, and I think regardless of what happens with Fantastic Four, I think RDJ as Doom, people can't wait. So it ain't gonna matter. A picture I wanted to. So pictures. No, I think this is better. Yeah. So this is from Quantumania. Uh Chronopolis is the city that Kang built in Quantumania. And I think that this would have been dope as a concept of what Mr. Griffin had, that he wanted like the future to look like. And I think it would have been a good Easter egg for people that paid that much attention to stuff. I think it would have been dope. Um, and he could have made it seem like this is what he was trying to do with that adamantium and all of this stuff, but obviously, no, he was trying to do more. Yep, I hope they not skipping the way they got the powers. Oh yeah, no, I think that they are. I think they are gonna skip that whole thing because I think we're just gonna know that they have powers, and that we're dealing with them having powers. Um, so I feel you, but I just don't think I don't think they're gonna do that, and that's kind of like my whole thing with Superman. Um, my concern with Superman is like I don't know how much of the movie is flashbacks and how much of the movie is them like actually like showing him starting from the beginning, like not like baby Clark Kent, but like him working at the planet and this and that. Like, is it gonna be a year one movie, or is it gonna be like 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line? I don't know. And it seems like there's a lot of scenes where Clark is with Lois. So again, I don't know if it's just gonna be like flashbacks or if they're gonna like really show all of that. You said I'm ready for RDJ to come back to Marvel, and him as a villain will be tough, but it'll be different. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I don't think RDJ can miss, and I don't think they're gonna let him miss. Um, I think I just care about the storyline, because if they were like, "Oh, RDJ is Kang," then it would be like, "Oh, okay, so then he could be whoever he wants to be." But I don't know how they're gonna make this make sense. As long as Doctor Doom is more evil and follows through with his plans and kills off a few soup. So how do y'all want him to kill people? Do y'all want him to kill people like hand to hand combat, or do you want him to like you want him to blast people, right? Because this is how Kang was getting busy. Kang was getting busy. I say what you want, but I rewatched Quantum Mania and he was zapping them fools. So do you want him to zap some people, or do you want to see Doom like chip some people up? That's why the movie will be an hour. Yeah, the whole movie's just flashbacks. Oh man, I don't know. What did you see the trailer with the Galactus shrinking down to the size of Statue of Liberty? I don't know much about Galactus, so I'm not gonna pretend like I have a real opinion. I think it'd be interesting if he's like walking around the streets. That would be crazy. Before he destroys the planet. The first Doom was good, so he got to be better than him. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing about rehashing these people. Um, like we already have people stapled in our brain of what the iconic role is supposed to be like. So, like just like Joker, like are we gonna leave room for somebody to come in and be different? King was one of my favorite villains. Yeah, bro, I agree. I agree. Um, he said both. You want them to get chipped up and get zapped. Uh, yeah. I was just gonna show y'all some more like behind the scenes stuff from the Loki show, like the rooms. Hold on. That didn't switch. Okay, I guess no more screen sharing. I guess that's done. Hmm. Maybe I'll post it on my wall. Probably some, if not tonight, tomorrow. Uh, the behind the scenes throne room for Kang. So other than that, I was going to talk about Spider Your Friendly Neighborhoods. All the Supermans was good. They got going to mess this one up because the bar set so high. My favorite one was The Last Man of Steel. They should have kept the actor for Superman. He was a beast. I mean, the crazy thing is they're talking about Henry Cavill. Obviously, he was Wolverine in the Deadpool movie. um, but I think they're actually gonna give him like a role. There's no high stakes in Marvel movies anymore after Endgame, and the audience knows it. Um, Again, you're right, and that's my whole thing. Like, having a Kang in the 616 lurking around, I think would have at least put pressure on it somehow. But yeah, we don't feel like there's any stakes. Now, I don't know if y'all watch Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I ended up finishing it the other day. I ended up just binging it because it was done. Um, it's it's a lot different, bro. It's a lot different than a regular Spider-Man show. Um, so it's definitely got to be like an alternate universe type scenario. And no, not just because there's black people in major roles. No, but the whole storyline is different. Like instead of Tony Stark, he has a relationship with Norman Osborn. You know, he's still friends with Harry. He's dealing with this what's old girl's name? He's friends with the dude that turns into Tombstone. And there's a lot of like real like gang related stuff in here, which is like real like for real. There's no Mary Jane in it. Um, what's that girl's name? Now the girl that was in it, that's like his friend is from right? Yeah, I think it's Pearl. No, Nico. Nico. Nico is from the Runaways. So it's again, I mean, I've never seen any storylines where they were like really cool like that. And I watched all the Runaways, so I don't know. It's just super different, bro. So like, if you're like a hardcore like fan of Spider-Man, and you don't like them changing stuff up, then don't watch this. But if you are just open minded and you want to see them do different things with different stories, then check it out. I mean, it's 10 episodes. It's not gonna, it's not gonna destroy your idea of who Spider Man is. I mean, he's still in high school. Like, it's not crazy unorthodox. It's just different, and not necessarily in like a modern way. Like, not a modern way, but I mean, they're dealing with some real gang related stuff, and being caught up, and like you can't leave or we gonna hurt your family type scenarios. I don't know, it's crazy. So I mean, if you're interested, check it out. I'm not gonna do a review on it. I think I would give this you know what, I was fairly entertained once I started binge watching it. I knew it was done. I sat down and I watched the whole thing, and it wasn't that bad. And I don't know, like the early reviews on it, I know why people were upset about it. Um, it's just different, bro. And and they really took the one pop the no not popular. The one positive thing that I will say is that their their character development for a certain villain is very well thought out, and when it happens, even though you know it's coming, it's still important, and there's still stakes involved. Um, Now the rest of it, there's a lot of like stuff that's just not important. That's just kind of thrown in here, and I think maybe they just wanted to plant seeds so like later they can come up and like pluck those seeds and be like, aha, you remember this? Maybe. Um, but I mean, as far as these two characters and their relationship, like I think they did a good job of like really fleshing those out. So I mean, it may be worth a watch if you don't have anything else to watch and you just want to binge something, and something that's like outside of the normal Spider-Man. With that being said, the next big thing that I'm looking forward to is Daredevil Born Again, which is coming out in March. Matter of fact, Raj, I sent you the schedule. Let me see if I can find it. Matter of fact, it'll be just easier to do this. Sorry, hold on, bear with me. I'm just trying to find the schedule because it was the actual like picture, and I'm trying to like make it easy. Oh, here it is. Okay, so all right, so the first two episodes First two episodes of Daredevil Born Again, March 4th, 1 and 2. March 11th, episode 3. March 18th, episode 4. And March 25th, episodes 5 and 6. So we're getting 6 episodes, all being released in March. It's only 4 weeks. In 2 of those weeks, you're getting 2 episodes per week. So that's not bad. And so you could either watch it week to week and you'll probably get some good content in there. Or you can just wait till the end of March, like I said, March 25th, and just binge watch the whole thing. Which either way, it won't be that bad. I'm super excited, so I'm at least gonna watch episode 1 and 2. And I'm still trying to decide how I want to do this. I don't know if I want to. And see, here's the thing. It's also a continuation now. At first, it wasn't a continuation. It was going to be like its own standalone project. But now it's a continuation from the Netflix series. So I feel like I need to like debating whether if I want to go watch the movies again, if I want to rewatch the first 3 seasons. I think it was 3 seasons, I'm pretty sure, of Daredevil. Figure out how to review it. But for sake of argument, I think what I'll at least do is do like a review of episode 1 and 2, to be fair. Can't take this guy anywhere. The street level superheroes are the most important. That's why they're so dope. But fine, you want everybody to have super serum, that's fine. Whatever. Yeah. So it's almost March. I want to hopefully get 50 followers by the end of March. So the March to 50 is the campaign, I'm gonna call it. Still trying to figure out how to do it. Like I said, like just because I almost got 3,000 views in one TikTok video, that doesn't always translate into followers, unfortunately. But it bees like that. So, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. But that's my goal. 50 by the end of March, March to 50. And like I said, I'm considering maybe doing a raffle at the end of it if I hit my goal. So tell your friends, take your grandma's phone, subscribe to the channel, take your baby's phone, subscribe to the channel, take your girlfriend's phone while she's watching Bridgerton, subscribe. You subscribe. You subscribe. Comment, like, share, all of that good stuff. But please help a brother out. Let's get to 50 by March. And I feel like maybe I did something. And then maybe 100 by the end of the year. With that being said, street level fighters and superheroes are the best. And the best of the best are not backups. They're just on a different level. Yada, yada, yada. I love you all. I will talk to you guys soon. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about Invincible. Yes. 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 Okay, let's talk about Invincible. So, this is gonna be spoilers. So the next episode. So the thing is, I don't know. So episode 5 is February 20th, which just passed, and then episode 6 is February 27th. But I didn't see episode 5. which is fine. I only seen half of it, so I'll only talk about the first four, and that's right. That's what I did need to go watch that. See, this whole week to week thing be killing me, bro, because I just be getting so confused. Okay, we'll talk about up to episode 4. Now, did you watch episode 5? Did any of y'all watch episode 5? Okay, let's not talk about 5. So 4 was good. 4 was really good, but 5 was outstanding. Okay, so I'll watch that tonight, and yeah, I'll probably do a review. Let me see if I can find IMDb because I want to know. I don't even know. I think it's 10 episodes, but I don't know when the last. 8 episodes. The last episode is March 13th. Okay. So, hmm. So, Daredevil Born Again episode 3 comes out March 11th, then the 18th, but then Invincible is right in between that March 13th. So I don't know yet about how I'm gonna review it. Let's just count that this as like a mid season review, and then maybe at the end of March I'll review both. Um, Now shout out to all the people that's been watching. I love you too, Dev. Yo, now shout out to everybody that's been rocking with Invincible since season 1, bro. Because a lot of people wasn't. Like a lot of people got on the bandwagon late. And only few of it, I don't know if I put Raj on or if he put me on or what, but a lot of people wasn't rocking from season 1, but I was rocking with it season 1, that and the boys, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, okay, so again, now spoiler warning here. So hell, up till season 3, episode 4. So if you have never watched any of it, I love y'all. Holla at me later. um, Follow me on TikTok. If you are caught up or whatever, if you don't care about spoilers, this is where we're at. So first of all, episode 1 was crazy. When Cecil put dude in the red room, first he put him in the white room, and then Mark was like, "What the hell is this?" Now I could have sworn that Mark was already in the white room before, but maybe not. Maybe no one's been in the white room. But he was like, "What the hell is this?" But then when he put him in the red room, yo, that was crazy because I didn't even know that existed. I think we mentioned to each other as a show him out. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, okay, so and then wasn't let me see, and then I think episode 2 was like a Cecil a flashback, so we got like a lot of like his story and stuff like that, which was pretty cool. And we know that he's been through some stuff, right? He's been through some stuff, so when Cecil ain't playing, like he really ain't playing, and he's an old man now, so he ain't got no type of patience. Um, but it's cool how Mark was able to get the team. I forgot the team's name, but or the GDA. Is it the G? Oh, the Guardians. Yeah, the boys and Invincible are both great. And episode 2, Mark was able to go to the Guardians to help him with Cecil. So I kind of and this is what I love kind of about Invincible, because he reminds me of Robin, when Robin transitioned from being under Batman's shadow to going out on his own and being Nightwing. And it's kind of like the whole thing, like with Cecil, like, yo, I'm gonna do my own thing. But Cecil can't tell him not to do his own thing because he can't stop him, which is dope. Yeah, I mean they are short episodes, and that's why I do enjoy watching them, like binging them. Um, but this season is just really good. Like I can't help but like watch each episode, and I think that's what I was. I didn't know if I was gonna like do episode 5 through 8 like um together. But if Raj is saying that it was, if he was saying that episode 5 was outstanding, then I gotta see it, and then I might as well just finish it out. Um, but so not only you got like Mark going out on his own like Robin, but then you got his brother Oliver like a like a Damian Wayne on 10, bro, because he ain't got like Damian is bad, bro. Like Damian has no care for human life. But Mark's brother can fly and is invincible too. And that just makes everything way worse. Cause at least like I really am afraid that his brother is going to try to fight him at some point, and I that really does worry me. Now I don't remember when Mark went to the planet to deal with his dad, and that there like I remember the Viltrumites like destroying everybody, but I don't remember how they were as a society, like if they killed each other or not. Because you know his brothers half whatever that planet was, um, but his brother has no regard for human life at all, which is scary because that's like his dad's perfect child. And I like if he turns on his brother, like I hope Mark can stop him, because even though the being half human and you have a heart, it's supposed to give you strength. Like it might make you half as weak. So I don't know, bro. Oliver's name should be Bloodlust. Yo, you right, bro, because his brother. Oh my god. Now there was a movie that came out a few years ago, um, where it was like Bad Superboy, and he was like in a cornfield. What was it? Oh, Brightburn. Oh my god, yeah, yo, if you haven't seen Brightburn, check out Brightburn. But Brightburn ain't got nothing on this because yo, dude is wilding. All right, like and the twins. So I hope the twins got like a backup, and they usually don't. And that's the funny thing about like them always cloning each other, and then like duplicate like keeping one spare in the chamber. Man, I love the twins, so I hope they come back. But Oliver was not playing. He does not play about his family, and I don't know. I think it's just gonna get worse. And then and then see, so episode 4 is when the two dudes from the future came and took Mark into the future, and then Mark found what's the dude that lives forever? Um, I forgot the dude that lives forever's name, but he was out there and basically was like Mark had him kind of like ruling over Earth, which is kind of concerning because is Mark a good ruler or a bad ruler? But being a ruler in itself may be a bad thing because they were pretty bad. So, like, if they felt that there was a need for a ruler, maybe that's not a good thing. But definitely makes it interesting, bro. Like, especially when you do flash forward stuff, like you see how stuff is kind of gonna turn out. Like, I wonder how it's gonna get bad. And then you had the whole thing with Alan and Mark's dad, Nolan, trying to escape the ship, and Nolan being all like, what is that called when like you want people to like hurt you? Um, it's something with a P, but it's not pacifist and it's not pessimistic. It's like you want people to like. It's like a kink. Like you want people to hurt you. Forgot what it's called, but Like he wants to be hurt, but like no, Alan is. I was like, yo, all right, bro, I had enough. Like we got to get out of here. Like we need you. Um, and then the Beast dude is hilarious. Uh, I think Raj, I think I sent you the video of like what they do in China now, where they take the blood out and they make it look white. Yeah, that's not a good look. So somebody get a hold of whoever represents the whole translations into China and tell them not to use white for blood. It just don't look right. But um, man, it like the show is just so good and it's so amped up. And I feel, and I think I remember when they were releasing two, they were like they already had season three written. So I love the fact that like it doesn't seem like so long since we had it, and I love the fact that it seems like it's just like in its bag now. Um, I know people are kind of getting fed up with the boys because they feel like there's like political stuff going on, even though like that's been there since the beginning. Um, because it's more of like a satire, but um, Invincible is like a true comic, like a true comic show, and I love it. And the fact that they could go like there's no parameters makes it even better, better than all the DC cartoons. No one even watches Marvel cartoons. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, they could deal with that. If I ever get the translated version, I will know very quickly. Um, but yeah, I guess that's what they get for blacking for writing out my Captain America. Y'all keep that. Y'all keep that. Um, but yeah, man, like I love where everybody's at, and now like Duplicate is with old boy, and now they're off doing their own thing instead of being a part of the Guardians. And then uh, the redheaded chick went and talked to, excuse me, went and talked to Mark's ex girlfriend, and now they're together. Um, and then she moved back in there with her parents and was like, "Yo, I run this," and put her dad in place, which is hilarious. Even though I thought it was pretty cool that she had her own like little treehouse thing. So when the group, what are they called? Um, the Guardians, when they showed up and said that they took over her lair, I didn't know she had a lair. I thought she just had like a treehouse. So news to me. But either way, like it's really good. I'm really excited. I'm probably about to go watch episode 5 and crash out. Um yeah, man. So if you haven't watched Invincible, man, enjoy, bro. Like I put people on Invincible and like they watch it as soon as it drops, and that makes my heart so happy, knowing that I'm the one that put them on stuff. So yeah, I'm watching Invincible. Other than that, I'm watching Paradise. I'm watching Severance. Daredevil is coming up soon, man. Um, I'm not watching Watson. I'm probably gonna miss all of that unless somebody comes to me that I trust and is like, no, you have to watch it. I'm skipping all of that. So again, appreciate y'all, man. I Now we starting to get into the springtime. You know, we got some cool stuff happening. And hopefully we'll have a fun spring, fun summer, bro. Honestly, like we need it. We need good entertainment. Um, so yeah, y'all find out some stuff. Put me on. I'm recalibrating my website. I think I might move platforms, so that might come out a little bit later. But I'm not. I decided I'm not gonna rush that because I want it to be as user friendly and eye catchy um, as possible. Because it's not for me, it's for y'all. So, still working on that. we're marching towards 50. Like I said, might do a giveaway. I'll let y'all know next month. Um, and yeah, we got some stuff we watching and talking about, bro. Yeah, man. Thank you for reminding me about Invincible, and thank you for letting me know that I missed the episode because I watched something. Talk soon. I think my thing is skipping. Sorry if it skipped out at the. Talk to y'all soon.